Hi there, folks, and welcome to TV Tuners. It's a television podcast for true fanatics. It's a weekly dive into the latest in TV news and reviews. I'm your host, Swanson. With me, as always, is my co-host and cop who's teaming up with me, and we're gonna solve this crime.
Cocainium.
Stairmaster. Yeah, I'll let you pick which cop you are.
How sweet of you.
Yeah, which I realized was a bad idea because now you fucking made me Jim Belushi.
Hey, I'm your buddy, pal.
Hey,
wanna go
man,
gawking women with me? Come on.
Hey, man, quit busting my balls, huh? Yeah, I can't believe you walked away, left me with my dick in my hand on this podcast.
Let me jerking it off. Raw until my thingy shoots things out. Motherfucker.
He talks a lot about jerking it in this movie.
Well, because he doesn't have a girlfriend. There's no love interest.
True, apparently neither of them do.
Wait, did you look at the Wikipedia article? The director describes it as a romance between Schwarzenegger and Belushi. He described the film as, in an odd way, it's a traditional love story between these two guys.
Huh. Interesting. Not picking that up at all, but sure.
Also, the script, they started filming without a script.
Yeah, apparently the story
Walter Hill just had
gave...
no bathhouse scene in mind. And the wooden
and Arnold was like, this is good.
Yes. I would have thought the same thing.
He must have been so disappointed with the rest of the movie.
I mean, if I had watched the movie up till him trying to bust the restaurant, like before he goes to America, and I had died, I'd be in hell thinking, wow, the rest of the movie must be really badass. Too bad I don't get to see it.
If it was just Arnold Schwarzenegger speaking Russian for 90 minutes. Yeah, good movie. But that's not what this is, unfortunately. With us, as always, of course, is our other co-host and drug dealer who's got a very complex scheme to sell his drugs.
Who's got Assassin's Creed tech.
He's got Assassin's Creed tech, and he's working with the local ruffians who are all black.
He's working with the Muslim Brotherhood.
Yeah, in everything but name.
I would like my key, please.
You can't have it.
Oh, but I want to do more crimes.
I am morally opposed to crime.
Listen, buddy, we're cops. We don't do crime.
Yes, you do. This is my Russian guy accent.
Except when a suspect's being a bit rude. Then you gotta give it some of this. Bang. Breakdancing sounds.
Oh, I need to blow off some steam. This is what I do. I whack him like this.
I whack him like he's my dick.
I haven't felt the touch of a woman in over 20 years.
I'm so lonely.
Don't understand why.
I haven't felt the touch of a woman in years, and it's probably because every time a woman passes me by, I say something mean to her.
Every time I see your muscles, Ivan, I start vibrating uncontrollably.
People tell me I have what they call anti-riz.
Zur.
So welcome to another exciting edition of TV Tuners. We're not talking about TV, of course. That'd be foolish. Instead, it's a Buy Me a Coffee episode. We're talking about the film
Swanson,
Red Heat.
You're not going to introduce our special guest of the podcast today?
Is he talking about Pumpkin?
Is he talking?
No, Swanson.
Is he
it's
talking
March.
Oh. Is he talking about Char's Counterattack?
That's not a person. That's not a guest.
I mean, is he talking about
that is a movie. Former episode.
No, I'm talking about Baron Podcastington.
Oh.
Is he here with us in the room?
No, he's joining us over Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Who's this man exactly?
Well, he's a baron, and he likes to do
podcasts.
Where?
I'm not sure exactly from where, but
you can't just say you're a baron. You have to have like some land.
You have to have a barony.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really do any of that kind of research on this.
So
he's having
technical. He just messaged you and said he was a baron, and you were like, "Yeah, sure."
Did he see Red Heat?
I probably. I mean,
what do you mean probably?
Is he on right now?
I know Keo's on one.
Well, we're having technical difficulties. You can see here. Look, here's the zoom window.
Yeah, it's just a little spinning circle.
Yeah, it's just yeah.
Well, it says he's joining audio.
Screen.
Look, he's joining audio right now. Look, see right there. It says joining audio. Joining audio failed.
The podcast. Okay. Can you hear us?
I'm sure he can hear us. Right?
Hey, can you say something? Can we get a sense of? Okay.
Oh, he left.
I guess that's that.
Was it the 3 minutes of opening bit we did?
No. Oh, he rejoined. Oh, look, guys, his camera's on.
Okay. Oh. This looks like a dungeon of some sort.
He's he's dressed up like a baron. See,
he does have a little petticoat.
Yeah.
See, he's squinting. He's trying to get his audio working.
This is good. This is what I call good podcasting right here.
Well, I guess we'll give him some time to get his stuff working, and then we'll just bring him into the pod.
But yeah, this is a Buy Me a Coffee episode. Someone gave us some money, so now we watch this movie, Red Heat, which we'll
starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jim Belushi, Lawrence Fishburne,
Larry Fishburne, as he's credited in this movie for some reason, and Peter Boyle from Everybody Loves Raymond and Young Frankenstein. But yeah, interesting movie. We'll talk about it. But first, if you have any quips, comments, questions, foresights, otherwise, well, why don't you send them to us so we can read them aloud on the podcast? That's right, boys. All you got to do is go over to tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. Send us any of those things. What's that email address, Keo, Ryan?
tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com.
That's right. You could be like Geo, who sent us this email, entirely in the header. This email is no comments in the actual body of the email.
Okay.
What actually made Shadow the Hedgehog the ultimate life form?
Oh, that's a great question. So personally,
yes.
I think that the fact that he was engineered to cure some kind of disease. I think maybe he's immortal or something.
Also, the fact he can use the power of the Chaos Emeralds. Because Gerald Robotnik saw the mural from Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah.
And decided that was something he had to do. He had to make reality.
Also, his design goes extremely hard.
Yeah, yes. True. He does sort of routinely get beaten up by Sonic, though.
Well, Sonic's the ultimate life form for real.
Yeah, because Sonic can turn into, a werehog. Can Shadow do that?
I hope not.
No, in Sonic Adventure 2, at least, I don't know if the original translation said this, but Shadow basically admitted he was like, Sonic, I think you're the...
Oh,
and
yes.
And then they drop it.
If you take too long on the final boss, Shadow will say that.
Yeah.
Because Shadow just did not have the stamina. He did not have the stamina.
A lot of people say Shadow the Hedgehog's the ultimate life form. I disagree. I think it's Sonic. What if that was just a debate that they had during a presidential election?
yeah, Biden's just getting all flustered. He can't really counter argue against what he's saying.
Yeah, he's like, I can't really. I mean, listen, Shadow, he's a great guy.
And what about those shoes? He needs to use hover shoes to keep up with Sonic.
Sonic
the ultimate life form needs. But the inhibitor rings, they hold back his full power.
Which he does not take off in Sonic Adventure 2.
Plot hole.
Yeah. And they run like a poll, and it's like 60% of voters agree with Donald Trump or something.
Yeah, I think people would fall on party lines there. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Surprisingly, the blue do not agree that Sonic is the ultimate life form.
But Cell could kick his ass.
Yeah,
that's not true.
Yeah. You don't think Cell could kick Shadow the Hedgehog's ass or Sonic's?
Like Cell would bend the knee.
I think Cell could probably easily handle both of them at the same time.
Like he has the ability to easily kill them, but not the will to.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Cell seems very willful, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, you never saw Cell being encountered by Sonic and Shadow.
Yeah, he's never encountered two talking hedgehogs who go fast.
I mean, he lived in a world where there's talking animal people all the time.
Yeah, but are they hedgehogs? No.
I think there's like a porcupine man, at least once.
Like a blue one?
No.
A blue one who's like, hey, what's up, buddy?
I'm sure they'll do that joke one day.
One that has like one giant eye.
Oh, that is pretty freaky.
It's never commented upon. Even though some of the other people do have two eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got normal eyes, folks. Just don't worry about it.
You know who has normal eyes? Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, you know what he did.
Yeah, you know what he did with
respected
those
women.
normal eyes.
Oh.
Well, are you referencing the Sonic Heroes manual
Yes.
where he's referred to as a feminist?
Yes.
Well, I'll have you know that that's a mistranslation, and what it really said was he's a womanizer.
Which makes him just even cooler. Dr. Robotnik? He has Riz.
Dr. Rizbodnik.
That's the guy, and I support him honestly. Like,
Yeah. Like Dr.
You
Robotnik
know what he-
pulls up to you in the club. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, he comes in his little egg pod.
Yeah. He says, "What is up, ladies?"
yeah, you know when he arrives, that's when the party actually starts.
Well, yeah, because I Am the Eggman starts playing.
And the only people tell you that song will not hit it on the club because that will make the crowd go nuts
He'll scare the hopes.
every time.
Listen,
goes
I've been
way
in the
too
club
hard.
when Eggman's shown up, and he's got women hanging off of him the whole night. You'll see him getting free bottle service and everything.
Yeah, and then they start playing his theme song and other related tracks from Sonic, and the club scene really goes wild for that kind of music for sure.
Yeah, they play the egg carrier theme because he likes to say that that's my theme.
Yeah, that's the funky theme that keeps you on the move or whatever.
Keeps you energized. It keeps us energized.
Yeah, it keeps
Keeps
us
us-
energized.
I think we're butchering it, but I
We're drunk.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not here to correct us because he's probably busy with a lady. But
Do you think that's the real reason Sonic doesn't like him?
he gets all the ladies.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Meanwhile, Sonic just stuck with Amy.
Yeah, Sonic's actually stuck in a monogamous relationship, and Robotnik is having multiple partners a night.
Sometimes at the same time.
Yeah,
he's having a monogamous relationship that is one-sided, but he's still committed to.
yeah, exactly.
Well, it's in the tarot cards, Keo. You can't defy your destiny.
That's terrifying. Did we answer the question?
Yeah, I think we did. I hope Gio enjoyed that answer. And if not, oh well. What are you gonna do, huh? Anyway,
You gonna shoot us? You gonna come over here with your gun and shoot us?
Yeah, I bet. Dare you. You won't. Anyway,
Please, I wish you would.
It's tvtunerspodcast at gmail.com. Send all of those.
Oh, I got a message from Baron Podcastington.
Oh, good.
He says, "Thank you for bringing me on the pod. That was excellent.
Oh.
Can't wait for the episode to come out."
Oh, so he's done?
Yeah, I guess.
He was just listening to the podcast.
Yeah, well, he's still in the call.
Yeah, but now there's like just the avatar, but there's no avatar there. It's just like that empty sort of vacant silhouette.
Yeah. Okay. Are you still there?
Hello?
Okay. He sent another message. He said, "Shadow," and then 6 commas. Ultimate.
Shadow. The ultimate life form. Could it be?
Before we move into talking about the show, of course, there is a question that I have for you.
Uh-oh.
What you guys watched this week? Anything fun, interesting? Something you want to talk about?
No. I watched Brother, directed by Takashi Kitano.
Is
Starring
there a brother?
Takashi Kitano. Yeah, he's played by Omar Epps.
Oh. Nice.
Who, according to Letterboxd, most popular film was Scream 2.
Ooh.
Brother is number 6.
Okay, I mean...
Slightly behind Alfie.
Don't know what that is.
And Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice.
Okay, I
hood.
do know what that is.
And the film Juice.
Oh, wow, he's got 2 juice-related films? Guy loves his juice. Daddy needs his juice.
Anyways, so yeah, it's about a guy who gets exiled from the Yakuza and goes to America to reunite with his brother, who's also involved in crime. And it's sort of like Tulsa King, but cool, since it's Takashi Kitano.
So it's not like Tulsa King?
Yeah. Well, an old guy beating people up.
Okay.
And teaching
that.
young people how to crime good.
Yeah, we love that.
The problem is, like, besides Omar Epps, like, all the English-speaking actors sound like they were rejected from the room. Or, like, alternates.
That's no good.
Rejected.
I guess, like, they were the backups for the casting.
Yikes.
But, I don't... That's just a problem with, like, Asian films in general. That's got, like, the bottom tier English talent.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of difficult, huh?
Also, the film is, like, really pro-mafia. Or it really gasses the mafia up. The American mafia up in the year... which is very funny to think about in the year 2000.
Yeah,
where the Yakuza... The American Yakuza is probably more of a menace at this point.
Yeah, where The Sopranos is on TV, and Tony Soprano's like, fucking hate my life.
Anyways, yeah, Takashi Kitano and Omar Epps become brothers. And then everyone but Omar Epps dies. Because the mafia kills them.
Huh. A nice reversal of the typical movie idea.
Where only Omar Epps dies?
Well, I meant just like the black man being the only survivor.
Oh. Also, Takashi Kitano gouges Omar Epps' eye out with a broken wine bottle in the first act of the film. He's perfectly fine.
Like before they're brothers?
Yeah. Because he's trying to rob him.
Oh.
He's doing the con of like, oh, I bumped into you and you broke my expensive wine. You better pay for this.
So he has one eye the rest of the movie?
No. He has a bandage over for the first act and then he's normal again.
Oh, okay. So is that a tune-in?
It's not his best film. It's very awkward, as I mentioned.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
No notes.
No notes.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
I watched Red Heat.
Past Keo here.
Red Heat.
Is that like Michael Mann?
Yeah.
Michael Mann's Red Heat?
Yeah.
This is a good time to posit this scenario, guys. What if you switched the cast of both movies?
I think Heat would still be pretty good. I don't know how Red Heat would fare.
I mean, so who
I think
would play
Red Heat
what roles
Okay, Red
in
Heat.
which movies?
Well, Kia hasn't seen Heat, famously.
True. I don't even know what Heat is.
Robert De
I don't know about
Niro
Red
would
Heat.
be Ivan, and Robert De Niro would be Jim Belushi.
I disagree.
Wait,
Or no,
so
Albert-
Robert De Niro is both of them?
I mean, Al Pacino would be Jim Belushi.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
Al
I mean,
Pacino,
that's
I think,
actually-
can do scumbag better than Robert De Niro.
The real question is, can Robert De Niro do a Russian accent?
Crazier things have happened.
I mean, true. Yeah. So, who would you pick for Heat?
Arnie would be the cop. And Jim
Yeah.
Oh, God. Fuck. I don't want to think about this.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
It always comes to Belushi.
Yeah, let's move on.
I think the thing is, you
This
make
is a-
Heat a worse movie and Red Heat a much better movie.
Yeah, this is a real it's not worth it.
Because you got Val Kilmer as the bad guy, probably, right?
I guess. Or, and Dennis Haysbert can be the prison boss.
Yeah.
Or I
exactly.
guess he could be Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay, but Arnold Schwarzenegger as the cop, as Al Pacino, is great.
I think he could make it work.
Yeah, you're going to tell me you're not going to watch a movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger says, "She has a big ass!
Oh, yeah. A great ass.
She's got a great ass! And you've got your head all the way up it."
See, that's the problem is the accent. It might ruin the reality of the film.
What do you mean?
Like, maybe if this was Miami Vice, you could get away with Arnie. Since Colin Farrell, or... Not Colin
Yeah,
Farrell.
Colin
who's
Farrell,
in-
right?
Yeah, Colin Farrell. Sounds like J.C. Denton in that movie.
I'm going to breeze past Keo here, because I'm going to assume he didn't watch anything.
Yeah, I didn't watch anything.
You should watch Dragon Ball Superhero. Now
Okay,
available
is
to
that
rent on Amazon.
Yeah, do
Is that a
that. Keo.
Stairmaster recommends?
Yeah, but I already talked about it on the pod several episodes ago.
I watched a movie.
Oh?
Yeah, I did. It was called Sound of Metal. It's
Not
a movie
really.
about a guy who goes deaf after being in an experimental metal band for... It's not clear for how long, but long enough for him to play without like earplugs or anything, for him to lose his hearing almost entirely.
Oh, that's sad.
And yeah, he sort of spirals from there, but it becomes about his journey of sort of dealing with the world. He wants to get the what do they call it, like the cochlear implants or whatever, but he encounters a bunch of people who are like, listen, sometimes you just have to like figure out how to live without the noise before you get to like that point in your life. But he doesn't listen to them, and he gets them anyway.
What happens
And
next?
from there, things go in different directions that are sad and also I don't know. They're interesting. It's a very what's the word? Deliberate. It's a very deliberate movie in that it's got a pace that it's going for, and the acting is all on par. It's good stuff. It has an incredible closing sequence. Tune in.
That's a tune in from me.
That's a tune in.
But yeah, that's it for me. So I guess there's only one thing left for us to do, guys. Let's head over to the Soviet Union.
God, shouldn't we talk about the recent news with the Keo Bank?
Oh yeah,
do we have to talk about that?
Oh, I have been getting a lot of emails about it. Mostly asking where the money is.
Keo, we've heard some bad things have gone down with the bank. I think the fans need some justification, because we did have the whole episode where we came out and we were like, look, put your money in Keo Bank.
Well, look, your money is fine. It's been, it's been put away in there.
Put away there?
In the bank, yeah, and I have not left the country. I'm still, still here.
But you're on Zoom.
Yeah, I'm on Zoom in Denver.
You're not here with us.
By the beach.
We haven't seen you in the house in a week. Yeah, I'm at the Denver beach. Yeah. Yeah, I've not been at the TV Tuner's house because, I've just been real busy. And I went to the beach today at Denver Beach.
Yeah, you're wearing just like long pants and no shirt.
Yeah, I'm at the beach.
I think I heard some triumphant music playing in the background.
Yeah, it's a bit of a steel drum type.
That's the kind of music they play here in Denver. Have you guys not been outside?
Well, not this
Who's
recently.
That woman
it's been
behind
cold
you
out.
holding a baby?
She's just walking by. That's it.
It seems like she's walking with you. She doesn't seem to be going
She looks
anywhere.
like she wants something from you. Like, she looks a bit annoyed.
Look, I am here, and the money is fine. Like, everyone's gonna get their money. They can withdrawals are just frozen for a couple weeks while we get everything all sorted out.
Couple weeks.
Yeah, we've frozen withdrawals for a couple weeks, and after the weeks are over, after all this blows over, you should be able to withdraw some funds from your account.
Well, I mean, I guess I don't have any reason to. You've never steered us wrong before, Keo. I feel like
I've been extremely trustworthy, and I've never made a false statement on really any matter. On the record.
Yeah. That is what I'm saying. You don't have. I don't know why you're agreeing so hard.
Oh, I'm just trying to make it real clear to those people, those vultures, those savages out there.
Oh, okay.
Our fans.
Well, not most of the fans, but the subset of fans who are ravenous, chomping at the bit to come at me and criticize me for how I've been handling the money.
Their money.
And well,
the money will be coming. Don't worry.
The money will be coming, and you're going to see some major increases in the numbers of the dollars that are in accounts as well.
Let's just say it's going to be a few more zeros.
A lot of zeros are in your future.
There may be an additional decimal point as well on your account.
Interesting.
Showing me two decimals.
I can't wait to see what that could mean for our finances.
Yeah, so not only have you secured my trust, Keo, you've secured my interest.
Yeah, and if you heard a statement by President Joe Biden about the bank,
Lying Joe.
Yeah, Lying Joe, Dementia Joe, Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe.
All these terms to describe Joe Biden.
Cup of Joe.
Cup of Joe. I would argue that these are extremely accurate. And, he's like, oh, he's insolvent. Oh, blah, 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 blah.
I think he yawns in the middle of it.
Yeah, he's sleepy. Like, he literally could not bother to research this properly to know that the bank is perfectly solvent.
Well, I've heard enough.
Yeah, you've preyed upon all of my preconceived notions of a person, so...
I guess we can move on.
So yeah, we watched a film, and it's not just any film. This is a buddy cop film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jim Belushi. One's Russian, one's American. What do you need, a road map?
A globe, maybe.
Oh. This is a film directed by Walter Hill,
who invented the buddy cop
behind
genre.
Yeah,
Sort of.
creator, godfather of it, really. Created the genre of shorts with 48 hours. The Eddie
27
Murphy,
hours.
Nick Nolte.
Oh.
No, it's 48.
Oh.
As in 2 days.
Why did I think it was 27?
I have no idea.
guess I was
It's
thinking
48
that-
hours because that's how long Eddie Murphy's out of jail.
Oh, I was thinking of the hiker movie where he gets stuck in the rocks.
Not directed by Walter Hill.
Also, this movie
Also
did
director of The Warriors.
Yes. More
Not a
importantly.
buddy cop movie. But, well, I don't know. I guess they're equal importance, right? The buddy cop genre is so
Oh.
big, and he
Yeah.
started it.
Ah, okay, sure.
And also, it was Eddie Murphy's acting debut.
Didn't Walter also do Streets of Fire? Yes, he did.
He did. But yeah, this is not either of those movies. Decided.
What is this movie?
What is this film, Swanson?
It's a film in which the Soviet Union sends Arnold Schwarzenegger to capture a Georgian drug kingpin.
Also, the USSR looks so nice in this film.
Yeah, it looks like a great place to be, honestly.
Like, yeah, going straight from Thief and seeing Chicago there to this film's depiction of Moscow. Like, it's like going from, like, Olympic to professional sports.
Yeah, pretty much.
Even this creepy, menacing bathhouse looks like a nice place to hang. Everyone's working out.
So I have a couple problems with this movie or what I would diagnose as the main problems with the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one is that the first 5 minutes of this movie are so good that nothing else that happens in the rest of the movie can compare.
I would argue that it's a different movie in the first few minutes, and the rest of it is just like trying to justify those few minutes that we got to see.
Yeah, because we open immediately sweaty, buff Soviets.
Nude women.
They're all nude. Everybody's nude here.
They're at a bathhouse, and it's also a gymnasium.
Yeah, for
We need
some
to get-
reason.
We need
Also,
to
there's
get one
hot
of those.
coals going around, and you can just throw them out in the open.
We got to get a bathhouse like that, and you know, I happened
Yes.
upon some funds recently that we can use to start purchasing items like that.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, you put the fun in funds.
I need to get my bathhouse bod ready.
You really
Yeah,
do.
same. If only we had some sort of equipment in the bathhouse. Also, we gotta talk to Robotnik, get some women in there.
I don't know if we want Robotnik at the bathhouse.
He would not just bring the women; he would also.
He would also bring the insecurities to us.
Yeah, true.
When we see his
Notorious
eggmobile.
huge. Notorious hog.
His egg tower. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah,
The
that's
one
right.
boss.
And he says that to... I've heard that's what he says to women. Where he's like, look at this egg tower! And he, like, disrobes. But yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger's walking through this bathhouse. Some Arnold buns right at the top here. The only thing this movie has in common with Terminator. Other than starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Like, what? This is like the first 90 seconds we get to see his ass.
Yeah.
So it's on
And-
par with Terminator.
For this one scene. And then, he goes to this spot in the bathhouse, and the one guy's like, "You don't have the right hands," and puts like a hot stone in his hand, and he grips it into a fist and punches this guy through a window.
Yeah.
And then he starts punching other dudes through a window, so a bunch of naked dudes just start flying through this window
Yeah, it
into
was-
the Arctic.
The prototype for Eastern Promises.
It really is. I feel like if you told me that Cronenberg was like said, watch this movie for that scene, I would believe you.
He's hooting and hollering. Yes,
he was in the theater.
This is what movies should be.
This is cinema.
But there needs to be more knifing. Let's see him bleed.
He wanted more knives and less like gunfire. Also, I gotta say, guys, the sound effects in the
in this it's 1988, so fuck yeah.
The scene, like him, the punch is just like, and of course, all the gun sound effects are just like the most ridiculous sounds possible. But it's great in like a cheesy kind of way. But yeah, Arnold gets thrown out into the Arctic, and they start battling.
In the snow. This shot was filmed in Austria because it was snowing in Hungary at the time.
Yeah, the more you guys describe this, the more I realize this definitely was a different movie at the start. Like,
yes,
for sure,
entirely.
We were robbed, and this, like I said, this was what Arnold was sold on. And like all the production committee guys.
Yeah.
They didn't have anything else. He
allegedly wanted to work with Walter Hill because of 48 Hours.
Uh-huh.
And this is what he got instead, was like the inferior version.
Well, 5 very good minutes at least.
That's true. Yeah. Classic Arnold in the 5 minutes there. So yeah, he beats these guys up. Pretty sure he kills them all. And then just cut to him being a cop. he's just he's a normal officer. They're searching for this guy who he's a drug kingpin, and they're doing like a sting operation. Him and his partner.
It's not really a sting. He just goes in and arrests him.
They call it a sting operation.
Well, I didn't have subtitles, so I was just watching all this in Russian with no understanding of what was going on.
Oh, yeah, him and his partner are talking about how this is like a sting operation or whatever. I mean, you understood the most important part, which is when he shouts, "Cocainium."
Yeah. The iconic scene of the movie.
Yes. Yeah, he goes into this bar. Everyone in this bar is ACAB.
It's a very nice bar, by the way. Way nicer than anything in Chicago in the 80s.
Yeah, way nicer than any seedy bar in Chicago. And he picks a fight with some guys and rips off a man's leg to find out that it's a wooden leg.
Well, yeah, he knew it.
There's just loose drugs in there. Bad way to store your drugs.
I mean, what are the chances that like a guy's gonna notice you have a prosthetic leg and then rip it off?
I just meant storing it loose in the leg. Oh. You're just gonna have all that residue in there forever.
Oh, you're right. Well, listen, it's a 90-minute movie. It's a 100-minute movie, Swanson.
Yeah. And that's a problem, too.
We had to skip over this delightful Russia sequence to get to Jim Belushi.
Yeah, well, he gets into this fight with the guy, and all hell breaks loose, pretty much. Like, all these guys start running away, gunfight ensues. This is, there's a gunfight later in the movie that's much less coherently shot.
Yeah, but this one's pretty good.
This one's pretty good.
People get fucked up, squibs everywhere.
Yeah, his partner gets murdered.
Yeah, this beautiful baby boy. Handsome.
This beautiful guy just shot by the bad guy of the film, whose name escapes me. Rostavili? Is that how you say his name?
I don't know. Rostov.
Victor is his...
Victor Rostov.
The name. Victor is how Arnold refers to him the whole movie, so...
Yeah, he's just Victor, as far as I'm concerned.
Victor. I'm looking for Victor.
Also, the Russian accent, Arnie does a pretty good job with it.
Honestly, I was kind of shocked. I was waiting for him to just keep moving into the Austrian accent, but he does a pretty decent job of keeping the Russian accent. Although I think it maybe hinders his performance.
I spent about a minute believing that Arnold Schwarzenegger was just a Russian man.
Yeah, just a Russian cop. A normal Russian cop. They don't try to explain why he has so much body mass. But yeah, his partner gets killed, and his superiors are like, "Listen, we're sending you to America. Smash cut, Chicago, the 80s music."
Yeah, the music is so fucking discordant. It's like a panic attack.
Yeah, and we get Jim Belushi entering this movie.
He's like, "Hey guys, wow, can watch."
Yeah, he's literally like, from the beginning. He's like, "Look at the boobs,"
which is contrasted with how sexuality is portrayed in the USSR segment, where the human body's on display and not objectified.
Yeah, it's a utopia in many ways. We get Larry Fishburne himself, Lawrence Fishburne. The thing I love the most about his role in this movie, which is it's a small role, but you can feel the hate he has for Jim Belushi.
Yeah, he's the audience stand-in. Because we can't be Arnie. Let's admit it, guys.
Yeah, we have to settle for being... I mean, listen, if I have to settle for being Lawrence Fishburne...
Huge upgrade.
Yeah. My life, huge upgrade on my life. But, yeah, he's like... Jim Belushi's like, "Bazoongas!" And he's like, "We should focus on what we're doing here." And they're doing a drug bust, and things go sideways. Jim Belushi catches the guy who was trying to escape. And
they're busting the clean heads. A gang defined by their bald heads.
Yeah, their heads are clean.
I've never heard of a gang like that before. That's so creative.
Yeah, how'd they come up with this?
I'm imagining some coked out producer just being like, "What if skinheads were black?"
And everyone's just like, "Holy shit." Someone's head literally explodes.
Yeah, Cronenberg is just watching that as well. This gives him an idea.
He's taking notes furiously. But
what a beautiful, macabre sight. A man's head explodes, and I get to watch.
He draws a little doodle of what it looks like. That way he can recreate it for later.
Oh, bad news. Scanners was 7 years before this.
Yeah, this is actually a late 80s movie, which it feels more like middle of the road 80s. But I guess by 88 you could get away with having a Soviet hero. You probably couldn't have gotten away with this kind of Arnold being like
I don't know.
The normal thing to do in this type of movie, especially in the mid or early 80s, would be for him to defect at the end.
But no, it's like Gorbachev years. They're pretending that ideology doesn't really exist in this movie, even though Arnie does have a few digs at capitalism.
Oh, he has one of the funniest lines in the movie about where he just says the word capitalism.
A very strange dig at capitalism, like of all things to criticize.
Well, I don't know. I think that is pretty fucked up.
Yeah, so this is, I think for me, the biggest this was one of, I think, 2 moments in the movie where I actually legitimately laughed.
Yeah, when he gets to America and goes to the shady hotel.
Yeah, he goes to the shady hotel because that's where Victor was staying. Mm-hmm. And he puts in a coin for the TV, and it's
like this fucking porn. Wallace and Gromit apparatus. Remember?
Yeah.
When they go to the moon.
And it starts playing porn on the TV, and he looks at it disgusted and just says, "Capitalism."
And you know what? He's right. To commodify
in a way,
beautiful act of love between 2 people.
Yeah, in Russia, you get your porn for free. Which I guess is what you do now, but yeah, Belushi is supposed to be the funny cop in this. And the thing I think, this is another one of those problems that I was mentioning before, is that
Arnie's the funny guy.
Well, yeah, every time they're in scenes together, Arnold, he's the straight man, but he is funnier every time. Even when he's not, just all he has to do is just give him a look to some dumb shit that he said, and it's instantly funnier than what he was saying, what Belushi was saying.
He's sort of like Kenshiro in Fist of the North Star, who is very funny despite being serious all the time and also killing tons of people.
And Belushi's just I mean, it's fine to have a character who's like a scumbag, and Belushi's definitely playing that up. But he's just like relentlessly being like he's just relentlessly unfunny in this movie.
Is there a movie where he's like a good guy? A moment where he's like a nice guy, where it turns out he has a heart of gold.
Oh, I mean, sure. I bet that happens, but
what do you mean? You bet that happens?
I'm sure that happens in his movies. I'm not watching his movies.
No, I mean in this movie.
Oh, in this movie? No.
The one we just saw.
I thought you were saying, is there a movie?
No.
Where he does that?
I swear you said, is there a movie?
Belushi just seems like it, yeah. He doesn't seem to care either that his partner died compared to Arnie, who's carrying this very quiet rage.
Yeah. Yeah. His partner dies and he's kind of just like, Jesus, this is more paperwork.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what his motivation is here. He seems like the kind of cop who would just be like glad he's not in danger anymore and goes back to his regular grind.
Yeah.
He gets back to harassing James Caan, trying to shake him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, I'm your pal here, man.
I'm here to help you.
Yeah. He's just got the dial turned up to 11 in this because he's supposed to be the funny guy. He's supposed to be the Eddie Murphy to Arnold Schwarzenegger's Nick Nolte.
But like Eddie Murphy was a criminal, he didn't have to play by the rules of being a cop.
Right. Well, also, and yeah, the dynamic is completely different, right? Because these are two cops instead of one.
Yeah, but also Arnie's the one who's now playing by the rules.
Right. So the straight man should be Belushi, but Belushi can't do that.
But he's not playing by the rules. He just mentions the rules.
Oh, he's just lazy. He's not like a loose cannon. He's just kind of negligent, I think, more likely.
I mean, he does. Yeah, he lets Arnold beat that one guy up in the interrogation room.
Like, I would describe him more as asshole than Maverick, if I were to characterize him.
Correct.
I would characterize him as a loser.
Yes.
A loser cannon.
Yeah, exactly.
So Arnie comes to the police department to pick up Krasov, who got pulled over at a traffic stop.
Yeah,
right after setting up this elaborate drug deal with a split in half $100 bill
as the there's some. It's a very elaborate scheme where he has to give half $1 bill to the person, and
also there's also a locker that's opened by a key.
Yeah, the key is like the essential element of the movie.
He's getting it from the bald heads, but also he's getting it from the South Americans.
Yeah. Where was this locker again? Where was it located?
At the bus terminal.
Yeah.
Man,
that's where you keep stuff.
Why didn't they just use a drill?
Yeah. Or like a plasma lance. That'd be cool.
Yeah. But yeah, we get introduced to Peter Boyle as the commander here, or the police chief.
You would think that Michael Mann, after Thief, would have thought of that and put that into this movie too, but he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't do that when he wasn't directing this. But yeah, we get introduced. There's a fun scene with Peter Boyle and Arnold Schwarzenegger where he's like, "I'm doing stress relief. You know, I water the plants. I feed the fish.
I listen to relaxing music.
The Soviet Union. Oh yeah, he listens to relaxing music. How do you do stress relief in Soviet Union? Vodka. And that's good.
That was good. Yeah.
The rest of the time, Peter Boyle is just being like normal police chief.
He's trying to He's trying to stay off a coronary bypass. So he's kind of so that advice should not help him.
But yeah, he goes to get the guy or whatever, and he does a little question and answer with Victor. But,
and I had no idea what they were saying because no subtitles.
I saw some really great comments on a legitimate website where this movie was available.
Oh.
So somebody said 12 minutes into the movie and still no English and no subtitles either. Sad face. And then there's a reply and it says, "Maybe it's time you learned new languages."
Agreed.
Yeah, that's what I would say to Stare.
So yeah, I'm gonna learn fluent Russian so I can watch Red Heat.
Well, we know Stairs learned at least one new Russian word.
Suka bliet.
Yeah.
Bliet means bitch. Or no, wait, suka means bitch. I don't know what bliet means.
But yeah, he interrogates Victor for a second. But yeah, he gets this key that Victor had. And Jim Belushi tries to get like some info out of him too. And he says so this scene is kind of funny, but also it's more funny because Jim Belushi reacts in a different way than expected. So he tells him to go kiss his mother's ass. But Jim Belushi interprets this as to go fuck his mother.
Oh, I think that is what he said, and Arnie just...
No, Arnold says to go kiss his mom's ass.
Oh yeah, Arnie translated it, but...
Well, Jim Belushi didn't know what he actually said. He doesn't speak Russian. He's just going off of what Arnold told him. So now he's talking about fucking his mom.
Belushi can read between the lines. You give him walk and chew bubblegum Swanson. Come on, give him some agency.
No, this is that thing. What's it called? The Oedipus complex?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's saying what he actually wants to do.
Which is pretty messed up. Stairmaster.
He wants to fuck his own mother.
Yeah.
And Victor knows this. He can sense it on him.
Yeah, because he's a new type. They're both new types.
Yeah, true.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They're going to the airport, and so they go and they're transporting him to the airport, and they get ambushed by. Are these the clean heads that ambush them?
Yeah, by Mr. Clean.
Yeah, and Jim Belushi's partner is shot and killed. Arnold gets beaten up pretty bad, and Jim Belushi manages to kill like one guy before they all get away. But Arnold keeps the key and keeps it on his person.
It's a real struggle for him to get this key. I thought he wasn't going to get it.
Yeah, I was expecting someone to step on him, classic type of deal, but he just gets it. And it's a long scene of him going towards this key, and then he just has it.
Yeah, like the microwave hallway from Metal Gear Solid 4.
It really is, yeah.
This all important key, which honestly to this moment still completely baffles me.
Well, Keo, you got to understand that the key is also red.
It's a red key.
Yeah, it's a red key. And
that's how you know.
What, Keo? I would describe the things that the red key unlocks. Heat.
Well, I'm just saying that red is like the most attentive color to the human eye.
I can look at that key and I can see that it is a very important key because it's red.
Yeah, take a gander at it.
You really sold this to me. Thank you.
Really look it over. So yeah, he's recovering, or Danko's recovering, which is Arnold Schwarzenegger's name in this movie. And I think Jim Belushi's character is like Ridzik or something.
I don't
be calling him Jim
know.
Belushi.
Yeah, Arnie's the only guy I respect enough to learn the character name of.
But Danko's going to be staying in the country until he can find Victor.
Yeah, Ed's bosses come over to yell at him.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, fuck you. Again, no subtitles. I don't know what they're saying.
That's essentially what he says. And Peter Boyle's like, or him and Lawrence Fishburne have a scene where Fishburne's like, listen, you can't put these two together because the hijinks are going to happen and we can't have that. And he's like, listen, it's a win-win for me. Jim Belushi's a fuck-up. And if Arnold Schwarzenegger messes anything up, he's Russian. And then he regrets it like an hour later. But yeah, they're gonna be team up pals. They're gonna go off and do this adventure, looking for this guy, Victor.
Imagine if it had been Larry Fishburne teaming up with Arnie instead.
Better movie.
Yes, goated.
Better movie.
I mean, they wouldn't have like the the comedy.
Oh,
do you
it'll
really
be
need the
they
comedy?
They would need to have a different. They would have a different sort of comedy, I think. Like Larry Fishburne's character would be like streetwise to the ways of New York, the Chicago.
You could definitely have a scene where he's trying to talk to the prison gang as like one of them, and then they're just not listening to him, and Arnold comes in.
Maybe. Who knows?
Arnold comes in and talks about his country being like the socialist dream or whatever, and then the guy's like, "That's bullshit."
Oh, yeah. He basically calls him a revisionist.
Yes. But yeah,
also,
that's
he points
actually...
out that he was arrested for bank robbery. I just want to point out Stalin did that.
True. True facts. Stairmaster.
If you want to get money for your communist revolution, hint, hint.
Yeah. We can skip ahead a little bit and just go to this prison scene, because the stuff that happens in between isn't interesting.
I just want to say I don't support bank robberies. Do not rob any banks or any bank owners or bankers.
Please respect our job makers. Our job creators.
Yeah, I create jobs.
Oh, right. I forgot about the Keogh Bank.
I don't know how you could forget about it.
I don't know what they would take from the Keogh Bank, though.
Money.
Hey,
the money that is...
Right.
The money.
Okay, buddy.
It's the money. Where's the fucking money?
Anyway, so what happens?
This
They
I'm
go to
just going
prison.
to skip to the prison, because the in between is there's a lot of scenes of Jim Belushi and Arnold in the car, because they really want you to believe in the funny man chemistry that they have together, and it just isn't there.
They're trying to do the whole culture shock thing, but Arnie's not having any of it, which is kind of funny, but still, Jim Belushi's irrelevant to that.
Yeah. Yeah, because the script is like 80% Jim Belushi for these scenes.
Which is a problem, because I don't think anyone came to this movie.
No one wants that much Belushi.
Do you think anyone comes to an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie for James Belushi?
No. Here, Keo, I'm going to post the photo of the poster for this movie. You tell me who you think is the person that people are coming to see in the billing of this movie.
Who's 10% larger?
Whose name is at the very top, and the other guy is relegated to the bottom under the name of the movie?
So at the very top we see Schwarzenegger, and it's the very first thing you see when you look at this, and then Arnold is in front of Belushi in the picture. He's
towering over
yes,
him,
yes.
some would say.
He's got a gun. Meanwhile, Belushi has a cigarette in his mouth and a coffee cup. Or is that a coffee cup, or like a cup you drink like?
That's a coffee cup. Yes,
water.
Sir.
Okay. And then it says Red Heat. Although Belushi is underneath the title of the movie, so honestly, if I was reading first and then looking at the picture second, I would actually see his name first.
Okay, so speaking of buddy movies, you know what else came out this year?
Lethal Weapon.
No. Twins, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
The ultimate, yeah.
Yeah, and I believe
buddy comedy.
And it made something like almost like 60% more money. This only grossed $35 million in the U.S., while Twins made like $200 million.
Let's do the switcheroo game again.
No. Okay, this would be a better movie if Danny DeVito was
in Belushi's. Oh, of course, because Danny DeVito would be able to nail all these lines.
Oh, hold on. What if Danny DeVito is the Russian and Arnie is the American cop?
Okay, well now the movie just gets confusing. Danny DeVito has to do with the action scenes.
Danny DeVito, like, nude, beating up dudes. That'd be awesome, I think.
No, this movie would definitely be better if it was... Well, for one, DeVito and Schwarzenegger have actual comedic chemistry together. That's why that movie works. That's why Twins works. And this does not. So if DeVito was just the cop, yeah, it'd be better.
But imagine Danny DeVito pretending to be Russian. That'd also be very funny.
Hilarious. But yeah, all around a better movie. I feel like.
Can I offer you a borscht in this trying time?
Where's Victor? Like, he doesn't even try to do an accent.
Also, the idea of Danny DeVito just like squibbing people with his gun, his giant gun.
His gun that's like the same size as him.
Yes.
And definitely not a film you could take seriously at any time.
Fun fact, they made up a gun for Arnie in this movie, based off the Desert Eagle.
The fake gun?
Yeah.
Fake gun. Yeah, I think we're narrowing down here is that the majority of the problem with this movie comes down to Belushi.
Yeah, God took the wrong Belushi.
True. I mean, listen, I found him. He was okay in Thief. He was fine.
Well, he only had like 2 lines of dialogue in Thief.
That's why he was okay. This is the opposite effect. He has he has so much dialogue.
He's pretty much talking.
Also, he doesn't do anything of value. He doesn't really contribute to the case. Like, compare Rush Hour to this. Like, Eddie Murphy's useful in that movie. Not Eddie Murphy. Chris Rock.
Chris Tucker.
The
one who was on the flight logs.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. In most of these buddy cop movies,
if you want to remember
the partners get along once they start contributing to the case together. Jim Belushi if Jim Belushi was not there with Arnold would still solve the case.
Okay, if you want to remember the difference between Chris Tucker and Chris Rock, one is on the flight logs, one is in the fight log with Will Smith.
It's true. The slap log.
That is right.
But yeah. That's the main issue here, is that Jim Belushi is irrelevant to the main thrust of this thing. All you need to do is have a moment where he's like, listen, I figured out where Victor's going, or like, hey, we got this lead.
In America, we do things like this. Well, in Russia, they do things like this. No. And then Ivan's like, oh, that cracks the case wide open.
Something, anything.
Like,
really.
Like he explains the rules of basketball. Oh, I guess that wouldn't work because they play that over there.
Yeah, he explains to Arnold that we have rights here in America, and he's like, "Oh, okay. Is that going to impact the movie? It'll be a bit we do."
Arnie's like,
yeah.
Explain the prison industrial complex then.
Pretty much. Like, every time he brings something up, he's like, there's a scene where he's talking about, like, if Arnold drives his car, there's, like, insurance issues or whatever. He's like, can you imagine the insurance issues with that? He's like, no, everything is state-sponsored.
Also in the USSR, you don't need to own a car to live.
Yeah.
You can just ride, like, very nice subways.
But no. I will say I appreciate that this movie doesn't go completely gung-ho on the, like, rah-rah American deal. It's sort of just, like, Jim Belushi just says a bunch of shit, and I feel like it's actually the opposite, really. It makes me... it makes you feel like, yeah, this is... They got a good idea over there.
I don't see how you could take this as anything but pro-Soviet. Honestly, I'm shocked that the CIA let this film get made.
Yeah.
Like, Arnie as a Russian should have just been alarm signs everywhere.
Well, I mean, the politics of this movie are very strange in general. There's a scene that goes unremarked upon by either person where Arnold is talking about, like, or Jim Belushi's like, listen, your country's so great and all that. Why do you still got drugs, huh? Checkmate.
And then Arnie's like, if only we could be more like China. Glory to Comrade Mao.
Yeah, he's like, you know what they do? They kill all of the drug dealers. They line them up and shoot them in the head. And he's like, that wouldn't fly here with our politicians.
He said not the drug dealers, but the drug dealers and all drug addicts.
Yes. And he says, that wouldn't work here with our politicians. He says, line them up first.
He doesn't
you know what? Good idea.
He doesn't argue with the premise there. He just says it wouldn't happen there.
Yeah.
We must kill Ronald Reagan. Hey, you're on to something. Honestly, Ronald Reagan is the secret villain of this film, since the CIA is brokering the drug trade that makes all this happen.
Oh, true. Yeah.
I guess George Herbert Walker Bush is the bad guy.
Yeah.
He's the Jamatov Hyman while Reagan's the Bascom of the situation.
True. Unfortunately, both of them lived to a ripe old age.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we get to the scene in the prison, which is for me one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
That isn't set in Russia. Just because I don't know this performance, I don't know the name of the actor.
Yeah, this gang leader surprisingly hard. AF.
Yeah, this guy, he's based.
He's like Werner Herzog and Jack Ryan. I had to chew my fingers off to escape the sulfur mines. Except he doesn't have eyes instead of fingers.
And I love that they correctly identify in this point that he should not be talking to Belushi.
Yeah.
And like Belushi's like, yeah, sure, I'll stay over here. You have this scene with him. So him and Arnold have this great scene where they're talking, and he's pretty much like, yeah, man, they put us in jail because we say that we're speaking the truth. And Arnold's like, we do not do that in the Soviet Union. He's like, oh, really? Word? He's like, because I've heard way different. And Arnold's like, and he's like, all governments eventually oppress the people who they try to work for. And he's like, no, I do not believe you. But yeah, I don't know. This scene, there's something about the way this guy speaks and carries himself that you just believe he's got some. You believe he's got something going on.
He's more interesting a villain than Krasov.
He should be the villain of the movie because he doesn't show up after the scene. He's just in this scene, right? I don't think he shows up again. He's in the prison.
Yeah, I thought this was like his villain scene, and he was going to be important somehow. But
Arnie's gonna have to blow him up later, like shove a grenade.
No, because Victor's like he's non-existent as a character.
It's like, hey, it's me, a Russian guy, Vic.
Well, he does have that. We do get to that cool showdown. Well, not cool, but Arnie does have a cool line when he meets Victor in a bit.
Oh yeah,
it's not because Victor's cool. It's just because
Arnie says a cool line. That's what I'm getting at.
He's like, hey, it's me, a Russian guy, Vic. I am a bad guy. I like to do crime, and I'm not good.
So I like to sell the drugs.
Yeah, and Arnie has that. So yeah, the Clean had set up a parlay, or is this where the wife shows up?
Well, yeah. So we get this bit where they have a back and forth about a parakeet, and that doesn't lead to anything. But I have it in my notes.
Oh yeah,
and it cuts to immediately. They're driving in the car, and it immediately cuts to dance. And it's just these people dancing.
I like to dance.
These people are dancing, and it's It's 80s, and they're dancing. And we get a young Gina Gershon as Victor's American wife, who goes by
Italian wife.
Yeah, American Italian wife, and she gets visited by our duo, and she's pretty much like, "Listen, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know anything about him. I don't know what's going on. Leave me alone." And they're like, all right, well, we're just going to watch and wait for her to leave. So she leads them into an ambush, essentially. And they hold Belushi at gunpoint and have him go meet with Victor to return the key.
I don't understand this whole sequence. Can you guys explain how this makes any sense?
Because I don't understand how they got away.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're screwed. Like, they completely surrender.
Well, remember, they made up the script as they went along. Like, they started production just with the Russia scene in mind.
Also, it's important to mention, because this is a point you've brought up before, before we started recording, Keo, which is that this movie is longer than it should be, and this scene is one of those scenes that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, they could have cut it because what does it establish? That the wife is somewhat disgruntled with the behavior? That's about it, right?
Right. Because nothing changes other than having like a fun scene between Arnold and the bad guy that you're saying.
It's cool when Arnie's like, you have contempt for old life.
That is cool. Not worth keeping the scene.
Yeah.
You could just throw it into the time they meet at the end.
So I guess that you could explain it by saying that, like, he managed to bluff not having the key on them.
Yeah.
They didn't bother searching him.
Or even if you want to keep like a confrontation between the two of them before the final showdown, do it in that apartment fight. Have them have a showdown there.
I can't make any sense of it. Why would they not just keep torture them or something to get the key?
They just leave. Like, they have Belushi dead to rights.
Yeah, both of them dead to rights. They're both like.
Well, who knows?
Also, Belushi has a very racist line of, a basketball team with guns is coming up on us.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's black people.
Yeah, what a guy. What a hero, right?
This is the guy that we want to see have a good relationship with our friend Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Are you saying that Arnold could have taken 6 guys with guns?
I mean, he does that all the time, Keo.
I think he could have gotten away.
That's what all of his movies are about.
He gave up his gun.
Yeah, he would have just grabbed a guy's arm and broken it while he was holding the gun and then shot all the other guys with it. And they would turn into fountains of blood.
But yeah, this is perhaps the most superfluous scene in the movie. And you cut this and you cut one. I'm not even being... I'm being generous here by saying one. One of these scenes where they're in the car ride just going back and forth. And it's not back and forth, though, because it's just Belushi.
Like, how is Rush Hour a better movie than this?
It is. Because they have the back and forth. This isn't really... Like, Arnold doesn't get those quips in, right? Arnold's funny in this movie, but he could be so much funnier if he wasn't playing, rigid straight man.
I appreciate him doing something different.
Yeah.
I think
you
the
could even do it where he starts
Belushi.
out as a rigid straight man and starts, loosening up.
Well, yeah, at the end of the movie, you have him crack a joke.
Here's the thing about him being
hey.
The thing about him being a straight man in this movie, the problem with it, that I don't know if you guys really agree with me on this one, but it's he's a straight man, but he's also got a bit where he's the fish out of water, so he can't really be the straight man.
Yeah.
It's just he's next to somebody who's just so abhorrent that he can't be more absurd than this guy who's this...
A pile of grease.
Yeah.
Given sentient form. Yeah, so they go to the hospital to interrogate one of his men. Oh, boy, this is a... So they go to the hospital. They go to the hospital,
but by the way, they go to the hospital later when they could have gone immediately.
Well, no, the guy woke out of the coma from being shot.
No, that's not what happened.
Okay.
They get told that.
Yeah, they get told that
when they're on the stakeout, and Arnold's like, "Mo."
Yeah, Arnold's just like, we have to go chase this woman. She's going to lead the threat where we need to go. And then it's an ambush.
Very good Arnold, actually.
Thank you. But yeah, so they waste time on that scene, and then they go to this guy who's presumably could help them crack the case. It was an actual lead that they could have interrogated.
Yeah, but by the time they get there, he's already being murdered.
Right.
He's getting murdered by a guy who was wearing a nurse's uniform, but they keep calling him... they keep saying he's trans.
I guess they didn't have male nurses back in 1988.
Yeah, it sucks.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is he wearing a disguise? Like, men could be nurses back in 1988. Who was he trying to fool?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I guess just make him more conspicuous because...
Like, did Arnold know him? That seems like a line that they should have put in the movie or something, right? Where Arnold recognizes him.
That is Bad Guyevich.
Exactly, like, he knows the person, so it makes sense. And also, like, this chase sequence that ends with the gun shootout, the wife gets in the way. What are you doing?
What is with women in this movie interrupting the gunfights, intruding upon them? We get the wife, then we get that prostitute, then we get that old lady at the end of the movie.
Yeah, what exactly was her thought process?
I guess they just had writer's block.
I'll stop this gunfight that's already ensuing by shouting.
Like, she steps in the middle of it. Jim Belushi would have just shot the guy if she didn't just get in the middle of it.
I guess they were friends. And she was pleading for his life?
But yeah, so the guy pulls out the gun and starts shooting, and Belushi goes ass over tea kettle over this fucking thing, and over this like nurse's station, this nurse's cart, and he's about to die pretty much, and then Arnold shows up and shoots this person like 18 times in the chest.
Good.
And they go through not one but 2 different glass doors. It's pretty cool.
Too bad about the last half hour between this and the Russia scenes.
It's a pretty cool sequence, and then it ends with Jim Belushi being like, "Oh, it's a guy. He deserved it."
Well, yeah. Also, Jim Belushi was creeping on his ass, literally.
Yeah. I mean, they don't do any gay panic, thankfully. It's just all transphobia. But yeah, I think even Larry Fishburne's got some gross line he says about the person.
Anyways, so yeah, now they're in trouble because Arnie wasn't supposed to have a gun.
Right. Especially a fake gun that was made for this movie.
The Ultra Kill gun.
And Peter Boyle's like, "Give me the Ultra Kill gun now." And he's like, "No." He's like, "I'm not. That wasn't a question, bud."
Okay, I'm sorry.
He said, "Sorry about this." And he's like, "Jim Belushi, give me your gun now."
Your gun, your clothes, and your boots.
And so he gets the gun, and he's like, they go, he goes home, by which I mean the apartment, or like the
hotel.
Seedy hotel he lives in. And Victor and the clean heads are watching him. And Victor notices where he stores the key and sends the... Okay, so he wants to get rid of the clean heads.
I don't know why they needed this element to the plot.
I
don't know either, honestly.
You need to have a twist.
What kind of twist?
It's a twist. Come on.
We don't care about
fellas.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a twist. They break in there and they kill this guy, this poor guy. All this guy wanted to do was have sex with a prostitute
and be fat.
Yeah, he just wanted to live. He doesn't get to do either of those things, presumably, or maybe he did already do that.
I assume no. I think he was taking the shower so he could have sex with the prostitute.
It seemed that way.
If you have thoughts, you can email us at TV Tuners.
Yeah, if you've
what your theories are.
But yeah, so this poor guy gets murdered, and Arnold hears it. He's like, "Gunshots! It is my turn to murder." And he comes out there, and this scene could have been pretty good, I think, but it feels like it's weirdly staged.
Well, the fact that the prostitute runs in and starts asking Arnie questions before the situation's resolved.
Yeah, I would have been gone.
Especially
considering
considering she's a prostitute.
Yeah, I would not have been following the dude with the gun around, seeing what he was up to.
You're a sex worker who just been witness to like 4 homicides and a participant in one. Yeah. You should probably be leaving.
But no, she sticks around for cop questioning too for some reason.
I would just
goes
want
to
to see
jail.
how things play out. I would stick around just kind of out of curiosity, like, hey, what's going on?
Hey, what are you doing? Hey, what's that gun for?
Hey, is there gonna be more shooting? I'm not a fan of that.
I'm not a fan of the shooting. Could you not?
If I come back tomorrow, will there be more shooting tomorrow?
That is a valid question.
But yeah, Arnold kills all these guys real good, but like I feel like the staging of it is weird. Not just because of the prostitute, but because it feels like the layout of the hotel doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Arnold goes through like a door and then another door and then goes into the room where the lady is. Like I don't get a sense of the scale of this scene.
It's kind of like a Scooby-Doo chase. He's just going from door to door.
And it's just him shooting people real good. And then he almost gets Victor, but then his watch goes off. Let that be a lesson.
Hey, that was set up as
Chekhov's watch.
Yeah, it's true. They set it up.
We didn't talk about it, but they did.
They sure did.
So let's have to take our word for it.
Listen, those watches. The watches are important. That comes into play at the end.
Look, I'm sure they set it up. Come on, would they really just not set that up?
You're gonna have to take our word that they set it up because
It's because they did set it up.
We did.
Yeah, we watched it, so you don't have to.
But yeah, so Victor gets the jump, or is aware that he's there and leaves with the key, and they show up and they're like, the police show up and they're like, damn, he murdered a whole lot of people, and they're like, dang, I can't believe he killed all these people, dang. And they know he has the key or whatever, so Jim Belushi's like, I'm going to take you to my buddy. And I guess they just leave? Like, I don't know what
this
the deal
is where
is.
the diner scene happens, and Arnie mentioned that his whole entire family's dead.
Yeah.
Because the first half of the 20th century was a horror show for anyone who didn't live in America.
This diner scene, not as good as the one in Thief.
True. Oh, your parents died from starvation? And fascists?
Oh, that's rough.
Oh, gosh.
That's rough.
My
My
wife-
sister's divorced.
My wife left me.
Yeah.
I don't understand why.
Yeah, it's like, why would that have been, buddy? And like, yeah, he like even his interactions with like this waitress lady who's being just perfectly cordial with him. And he's just like, hey, listen, I don't want any coffee right now, okay, bitch?
She was
And
being
then, like-
a little patronizing.
And then 2 seconds later, he's like, hey, coffee.
She probably
Yeah,
saw the
it wa-
perfect human specimen that was Arnie and wanted to get in on that. I was looking for an angle, Keo.
Okay, I mean, that's fair. I don't know how I'd behave if he walked into the room.
You'd be acting unwise.
How would you behave if you saw him sitting there eating French fries?
I'd be like, can I get you something? That's probably how I'd react.
May I touch your abs?
No,
Please.
just one.
Thank you.
Too much touching. And then you like take your hand off.
And then he breaks your wrist.
Yeah, the actor,
Yeah.
not the character in this film.
Yes.
The character would just think it's an American thing.
Yeah, he would just think touching like your abs is normal in America.
Disgusting.
Yeah, so they find he takes him to a locksmith and they like get the keys to the bus terminal or whatever. They come
And
up
also,
with a
the
plan.
locksmith is Jim Belushi's ex-brother-in-law.
Oh yeah, who's a bit actor that I've seen in a bunch of things. Weirdly enough, I guess apparently this guy is worked in improv comedy with Jim Belushi. So I guess Jim Belushi got him the role in this movie. Hey, I got a role for you, buddy. You're gonna be a big loser.
Just like me.
Just like me, for real.
But yeah, their plan is to go to the bus terminal here, and they're gonna so they're gonna show up and like they're gonna corner Victor essentially, like they're gonna
just the two of them
on one side. The two of them are gonna be on each side of him or whatever.
This is sort of like the opening scene of Bosch.
Yeah, sort of.
And like Bosch, it also goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, an old lady just gets in the way, like always. I love how sudden it happens, though.
Also, Arnie's about to shoot Jim Belushi to get his revenge.
Yeah. And it's not clear to me, maybe it was clear to you guys, it wasn't clear to me if this was like part of their plan or not, or if Belushi was really like, hey, we need that guy.
No, they were arguing, but then Jim Belushi's like, hey, we can figure this out after we arrest him. And then the old lady shows up to make sure that the shootout happens.
Right, I couldn't tell if this was part of their original, like they had some sort of scheme that they were going to do.
No. They introduce this conflict and then immediately drop it.
Yeah, because he gets killed at the end. Spoilers. He gets killed at the end, and Jim Belushi's just like, oh well.
What a crazy ending to this little romp we went on.
But yes, I love how sudden it is. This old lady walks in the frame and Jim Belushi's like, hey, get out of here! And then gunfire just starts happening.
Gunshots.
And they exchange some gunfire. Victor gets in a bus and gets out of there. Arnold's like, he stops the next bus he sees and is like, get out. Give me your bus. Give me your shoes.
This is almost a good chase, but it's missing something. It's a little under-seasoned, I would say.
It needed...
There's some carnage, but not enough.
Yeah. There's a line that they probably thought would kill in the theater, where he runs over the landmark, and Jim Belushi's like, that's a Chicago staple.
He goes
you
through
just
that
destroyed it.
He goes through that one indoor shopping mall. It's like in all the racing games.
Yeah.
Or at least Midtown Madness.
Also, it's not clear why he's going through all this stuff.
He got ran off the road.
Like it's a fine scene, I guess. It just feels like it's not. It feels like it's a collection of various things that they just put together in a chase scene. Like there's 3 separate shots of them running over different cars
also,
and like pay meters.
Also emblematic of James Belushi's entire role in this film, he doesn't do anything in the chase scene besides provide color commentary.
Well, he does jerk the wheel at the end.
Yes. I feel like this needs like a more explosive finale. I mean, getting hit by a train is good and all, but the train doesn't go off the tracks.
No.
That would have been cool.
Also, his wife gets murdered off screen.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if we need to see it, but like, if you want to sell the bad guy as like a villainous bad guy, we should probably see him do that, right?
Yeah, have him throw her in front of a train.
That would be too upsetting. That would make me sad. I don't like to see women die.
Yeah, what if it happens off screen?
Well, if it happens off screen, I don't care.
And they just have like a news anchor be like, "Yep, she's dead," and they look at the body and they're like, "Oh, jeez."
Don't care. I barely have object permanence. I'm not gonna really resonate with something that happened off screen.
Yeah, neither's the movie. Also, this doesn't come back, I don't think. But when they show the newsreel of her death or whatever, they show Victor doing like the old taxi driver.
Well, yeah, he's loading his gun. He's setting up.
But he never uses it, does he?
Yeah, he does. When they try to arrest him, and the old lady shows up, he starts shooting at him, and that's how he gets away.
With that gun, okay, that makes sense. I thought he just had a gun on him.
No, that's also the gun he killed Arnie's partner with at the start of the movie.
You're setting that up. You should save it for the end, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it should be a thing, because, you're making a whole movie, like, the beginning and the end should have some sort of rhythm to them. Mm. Like, the train crashes into his bus, and he comes out all injured. Him and Arnold have the standoff. He goes to pull out the gun, and Arnold's got the draw on him. Mm. Better movie. But that doesn't happen. Look, just shoots him.
We could rewrite this movie all day. And if
No,
you
I'm
want to
just
pay
saying
us,
instead, Arnold just shoots him, and it's just like, oh, he's dead.
if you want to pay us 20 coffees, we'll do a dramatic reenactment of this movie with our new screenplay.
Yeah, and we will, unlike or like Walter Hill, we will start with the Russian bathhouse scene and work from there.
Yeah, I'm going to play Arnie since I'm the only guy tall enough to do so.
Yeah, and
This is gonna. Yeah, even though it's gonna be just a podcast of us doing this, we still definitely respect that.
yes, there will be naked for the first half of the movie. But yeah, so they the bus crashes. Jim Belushi, they're playing a game of chicken with the buses where they're going to try and hit each other, and Belushi swerves the wheel at the last moment, and their bus crashes, and then Victor's just gets hit with a train that I guess he didn't see coming.
Well, there was a lot going on at the moment, Swanson.
True. And yeah, so he gets out, and Arnold sees that he's out there still, and he's like, I'm going to go kill him. And Jim Belushi, who just seconds ago was like, no, we need him alive, is like,
well, they
okay.
were... No, Belushi's like, we will die if you ram into him head on.
No, this is after the crash.
Yeah, but that's why he caused the crash. That's why he caused the crash. No, when Arnie goes, Belushi just has given up at this point and realizes he is of no value to the universe.
Yeah, I guess so. So, yeah, Arnold goes over there. They have a conversation. He kills him. And that's the end of the movie. I mean, not the end, but it's the end of the plot. And it just cuts... Like, we don't get anything with anything else that happened in this movie. It just cuts to him at the airport. And he's like, all right, I guess we're friends now, huh? It's like, what? What do you mean? Nothing in this movie suggests that you two should be friends.
They helped each other at the end of the movie. They did it.
Yeah, but he's Jim Belushi.
You think he should have just killed him before he left?
Yeah,
probably. Tied up his loose ends. What are they gonna do?
Nothing.
But yeah, he's like, hey, we're friends now, and they exchange watches.
Yeah, he snaps Belushi's neck. It comes back to the Soviet Union. They just give him the Order of Lenin. They give him every medal.
Yeah. And then, yeah, he leaves the airport, and that's the end of the movie. It's just like, it's just a weird ending to the movie.
Yeah, and then we find out that the stunt coordinator died during production.
Yeah, probably during the bus sequence. Anyway, that's the end of the movie. Final thoughts?
It was all right.
Yeah, it was fine.
It could have done better. Twins was better.
I haven't seen Twins, but I agree.
Jim Belushi. I don't need this much Jim Belushi in my life. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I've had enough of Jim Belushi.
Kyo, you would love Twins.
Does that have twins?
Yeah, Arnie and Danny DeVito are twins.
Yeah, get this, they're twins and they look nothing alike.
It's like Metal Gear Solid where one of them got all the good genes. And here they got
Explain the genetics of that.
Well, they used a centrifuge and the good cum got separated from the bad cum.
Yeah.
Sort of like uranium enrichment.
Wow.
Fun fact about the movie Twins. Danny DeVito and Schwarzenegger agreed to take 40% of the film's box office, and because it became such a big movie, they had the biggest paychecks ever of their careers.
Yeah, as opposed to this, where Schwarzenegger only made $8 million.
Yeah, which is still probably a lot compared
which
to
is almost a
else in the
third
movie.
of the film's takeaway at the box office.
That's a lot. That's a pretty big fraction of this.
Oh, Schwarzenegger later wrote that the film wasn't the smash I expected. Why is hard to guess. It could be that the audiences were not ready for Russia, or that my and Jim Belushi's performances were not funny enough, or that the director did not do a good enough job.
This
wow,
director,
Arnie.
he did not do a good enough job.
I like the fact that he takes a bullet for James Belushi by including him in that sentence, himself in that sentence.
Yeah.
Yes, perhaps it was my fault that the movie was bad.
I bet you it was me and not the other guy whose name I do not remember. What is it, Belushki?
What if he just put Belushi on blast during that
He'd be right.
interview?
Yeah, correct. So I saw something on Letterboxd that I want your opinion on, Stare. Someone said this movie would be better with Bill Murray in it.
Probably. I don't see how it could be worse.
I think
Like in place of Belushi or some other role?
He's got as Belushi in Belushi's role. I think it would be better because Bill Murray knows how to do the Belushi shtick without being like a complete the scumbag the entire time.
Well, yeah, people still talk about Bill Murray to this day. Sorta.
I mean, a lot of that was in the
script.
Directly in the script, yeah.
Yeah, I think if you had... I don't know. I feel like maybe Bill Murray would at least make me laugh at some lines about, like...
Yes.
The copious masturbation references
well,
or something.
Bill Murray would have complaints about the script, probably.
True. He would probably be like, how about I say something like this because it's funny. Also, I feel like, based off of what I've heard, Arnold Schwarzenegger would probably end up beating up Bill Murray on set or something.
Yes. Maybe this film needed a fight scene between Arnie and Belushi.
I think, yes.
I'm so mad at you, American!
I think we just needed them I think he just needed to get punched once in the movie, and it would be a little better.
Yeah, I would have enjoyed that. Tune out.
Tune out.
Yeah, it's a tune out for me, too.
Go watch Eraser.
Yeah, watch any other Arnold movie, pretty much. Even Hercules in New York. And that's it for this week's episode of the show. Of course, this was a Buy Me a Coffee episode. If you have an episode that you want us to watch, of anything really, all you gotta do is go over to buymeacoffee.com/tvtuners. A single coffee gives you a single episode for us to discuss. A movie or an hour of TV, perhaps. Anything your heart desires.
Oof.
And we'll be back next week with, am I reading my notes correctly here? A TV show?
No.
That can't be right.
I don't think so.
Well, we'll have to find out. Until then, keep watching. Bye. It's over.
I found him.
Hey folks, it's time for the TV Tuners Fact of the Week. Did you know that during the podcast, Baron Castington sent a profanity-laced rant about Stairmaster?
Oh.
That I will not recite here, but I just want to point out that this was extremely intense and contained violent threats, and he posted Stairmaster's home address as well.
What?